Hello, and welcome to Crafting with Topps Digital. Today we're going to take our first look at Kick 17. Topps dropped this new app last week, right before the beginning of the Premier League's opening weekend of matches. No doubt a lot of you have gotten a look at this already. If you're new to Topps family of apps, this is going to bear a striking resemblance to the Bunt interface. The new Bunt interface introduced a couple of different features, and they've made their way over to Kick now. If you're a footy purist and you've never seen this interface, some of the things that you'll notice is that the progress bar for your daily login has been replaced with this experience points bar, and that marks your amount of experience points and your level. The experience points can be gained in a variety of different ways, mostly by logging in. I believe you get either 100 per day and 500 for your weekly bonus. You can also make trades, buy packs, and compete in contests to get additional experience points. And as you accumulate certain thresholds, you bump up in level, and those will allow you to get some interesting rewards. Up to date right now for the first 5 levels, which I've opened a couple of different packs, most of them Premier League, one DFL pack. Going down the line, we may see the opportunity to have different tiers of prizes in the contest based on your level. I've certainly seen this in Bunt, and maybe that'll make its way over. When you reach a certain level in your bulletin, you should get a notification. And as you can see, I've already claimed my prizes, but there are a variety of different prizes for each level. Those may be documented in the help if you want a full list of what the prizes you can expect. I'm pretty sure that as we get deeper into the season and higher levels are become unlocked, that we'll see new prizes become eligible, maybe special cards or high level gold and silver packs. That's something that again we saw in Bunt, and hopefully that makes its way over. And again, maybe the contest will also become restricted potentially. We know we've certainly seen that previously in Kick, based on the eligibility of cards based on a series or an insert set. So that's something that we can look forward to. Also, on the splash screen, you'll notice right next to the bulletins, there's this exchange button, and that's the card exchange. That's, again, a new feature to the Topps family of apps this year. Certainly started with Star Wars card trader with the Smuggler's Den, and it's made its way over to the additional apps. So those are the two main features: the idea of levels with experience points and the card trader. If you've read the article, the first set that came out this year for the season for Premier League, the first insert set was the relics. And if you didn't chase the relics, then maybe you didn't get a chance to read the article. But there's the chance pack. If we haven't seen the relic chase, let's try to find the article here in the history. So it was one of the first ones to come out this year. And the cool thing was if you were able to collect, I believe it was 3 of the bronze relics, you could go into the card trader and use the meld option to craft your own silver relic. And I think we're going to see a lot of this going forward with the insert sets, where you can meld up the rarity of the card and also the boost associated with the card for contests. So that's something that I think everybody is looking forward to. A good way to get some high boost cards. Again, we have the exchange button on the homepage right there in the upper left. All that does is take you to the My Cards page with the filter on the top to the card exchange. So we're going to go in that way. That's typically my preferred method from some of the other apps, where you go to My Cards. I can quickly see which cards I have. Maybe I just traded for something that I can use to meld, and I want to make sure that I have the right number. And then on the drop down, select card exchange. And I'm not sure if it's sneaky or not, but maybe it's a good, well-kept secret. Maybe, hopefully not a well-kept secret, and you know about these things. And certainly after this video, you'll be informed that there's the opportunity to meld for some of the new base cards. in addition to the relics that we just saw in the article. Most of these cards, if you take a look at them, are transfers either within the Premier League. Townsend went from excuse me, he went from Newcastle over to Crystal Palace. Wanyama was a transfer from Southampton. We also have transfers from other leagues that had cards in last year's kick. So Shaka came over from the DFL. We see Ibra down here. He had some Champions League cards, and you can use those previous year's versions to meld into base. Mostly it's base. I believe there was a couple of iron and bronze. That's again, if you've looked at the app, if you haven't, they made a quick turnover from the variant parallels from green, red, and white stayed the same, but green and red went away. They've been replaced with iron, bronze, following that whole motif of gold, silver, bronze metals, and then you have iron. I'm sure we could look forward to some of the other precious metals, such as platinum and diamond, as we've seen in the boosts in the past. In addition to the transfers, you also have the new spokesmodels, if you will, the new faces of Kick 17, Neuer and Kane here for. And you also have a couple of stragglers, some good high point cards. I'm not sure how Hosalu made it in, but he's there from Stoke. But you also have some of the newly promoted teams in terms of Burnley, who's making a return to the Premier League, as well as Hull. They have El Mohammadi and Heaton here. And the interesting thing about those is that you don't use last year's cards, but the cards from 2 years ago. So I played a lot in 14-15, and we can use the 14-15 versions of El Mohammadi to exchange for a base card from this year. And since he's a pretty good flow player, I'm going to go ahead and exchange 5. As you can see, the exchange rate. If you're not familiar with the exchange screen, it's going to gray out when you have the right number of cards to do the meld, craft, upgrade, however you want to look at it. Again, I'm going to climb on my soapbox. I think this is backwards. You should be grayed out when you don't have the cards, and it should be full color when you do. In any event, if you're not clear on the shading, graying out, etc., you could click on the grid button there, and instead of seeing the pictures of the cards, you just get a nice checklist, and when you have the appropriate number, you get the red check in the box. So then you can go ahead and go to the top here, the exchange button. And then going down the line, we may see different options for multiple exchanges, or meld options as they're called in some of the other apps. And in that case, you would just slide over to the different meld options to see what are the required cards, whether they're just player cards, or if going down forward, maybe we'll see equipment like we do in Bunt. I could easily see them adding shin guards and cleats, etc. as equipment in order to get your higher rarity, higher boost cards. But for the meantime, we just need the old base card, so let's go ahead and hit the exchange button. See the nice Kick 17 logo. This will swipe over into a brand new Kick 17 El Mohammadi 1X base card, which again will be useful for chasing points. And the nice thing is that those old cards get shredded, so that's going to reduce the card count. Pay particular close attention to that for inserts, because if it is a limited number of inserts, and I've used this example before, where if you're chasing the card and you think there's still 30 some odd cards out there, don't forget to factor in that some of the early adopters, or the whales that got in there first, may have already shredded some of those cards, reducing the total count of that limited insert. So there's your warning for the day. In the meantime, keep an eye on the exchange, because, again, I don't think these were published too well in any articles. They might have been on Twitter. I'm going to have to go through the Topps Kick Twitter feed to see if they notified of when these cards became available. But if they are on the down low, periodically check in. Also keep an eye on the expiration date for the cards. They may expire this weekend's matches, and if you're collecting and trading, don't spend the farm to get that last card if the exchange is already expired. So that's another tip for you today. So we'll see you on the pitch.